So the Democrats are choosing resistance over safety after another deadly weekend of gun violence in Chicago. At least 8 people shot and killed. 58 others were injured. Despite the carnage, Democratic leaders in Illinois say they do not want President Trump to send in the troops for a D.C.-style takeover. However, the president says he's ready to go in.
Chicago is a hellhole right now.
Mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops.
But Chicago's leaders, they are defiant.
I'm aware that the President of the United States likes to go on television and beg me to call and ask him for troops. I find this extraordinarily strange, as Chicago does not want troops on our streets. I refuse to play a reality game show with Donald Trump again.
We do not want or need military occupation in our city. We do not want or need militarized immigration enforcement in our city.
Even Trump's harshest critic, Joe Scarborough, urged Governor Pritzker to team up with Trump on deploying the National Guard to Chicago.
I actually think that J.B. Pritzker should do something radical. I think he should pick up the phone, call the president, let's partner up. These are the most dangerous parts of my state. We would love to figure out how to have a partnership, because right now, just hey, nothing to see here moving along. No problem here. Hey, Donald Trump, we don't need you. And, the mayor talking about we're going to protect people's dignity in our city. We'll protect their lives.
Jesse, I was thinking about how many years we've worked together and how many Mondays or the day after a holiday we come back, and this is a story, and this one was a big one over the weekend, 58 injured and 7 killed.
Yeah, it's a lot of blood. The Democrats keep on saying, well, the homicides are down. They keep saying, they went from 900 killed to 600 killed a year. That's like when your girlfriend says, well, the last guy I was with, I cheated on him 9 times. I've only cheated on you 6 times.
Well, that's better.
It doesn't make you feel better. It's still a lot of dead bodies. Now, he called in the Guard for the DNC over the summer. Remember, Dana? We were there. It was safe. It was secure. They had the Guard there, but they won't call the Guard in for the South Side. That's racist. The South Side's huge. It's very hard to handle. I think it's 234 square miles. It's bigger than Boston, San Francisco, and D.C. So it's kind of like a densely populated flat area with row homes. It's very, very hard to police. You would know better than anybody. And there's certain neighborhoods on the South Side where it's more dangerous there than in Iraq. So why not use the surge? It worked in Iraq, and it should work in Chicago. You put a lot of boots on the ground, and it frees up locals to do the dirty work and go in and get the trigger pullers. It's worked in D.C. It should be able to work here. It's the heroin highway, they call it, because all the drugs come from Mexico through the highways right up to the hub in Chicago, because it's a great distribution point. You get O'Hare, you get the lakes, you put them out on the boats. You got rail going everywhere. You got highways going, different arteries throughout the country, and you distribute it. So the cartels give the drugs to the black gangs. They distribute it, and they're the ones killing each other. It's black victims. 90% of the victims of these homicides are black. So people are asking questions. Are Chicago politicians getting payoffs by cartels to look the other way on the South Side? Because you can't explain the tolerance of death this way. Also, on the demand side, we have to stop doing so many drugs, okay? I know cocaine is fun. People tell me in maybe college, in your 20s, after your 20s, it should stop. And you should never be doing heroin, ever. Meth is ridiculous. You're up for 28 straight days, and you turn into a shrimp. Now, if we don't stop that, then we're going to still have this problem. So both sides, the traffickers and the buyers are a lot of white people. They have to stop buying it as well. And this guy that says, I think it was, blacks and the indigenous built Chicago. No, they didn't. They did not. The English established it. It was just an Indian fur trading village on the side of a lake. And immigrants from Europe, the Poles, the Czechs, the Germans, the Irish, Italians, they created Chicago. All right? So let's give credit where credit is due.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome.
Paul Morrow.
Sir.
So Jesse mentioned that you would know better than anyone, and I'm curious what you think the police officers think, and maybe they can't speak out because they work for the mayor and then the governor, and those two elected individuals are speaking so loudly, but as a cop, are they demoralized?
Of course they're demoralized because they're way down in headcount and they're being asked to do more with less. They're going to take any help that they can get, but let's tease a couple things out. Prophylactic policing, stopping stuff before it happens, is always better. The best crime-fighting strategy is to fight crime before it happens, and that's particularly true when the system is gamed against you because of the Safety Act, which mirrors the criminal justice reforms that we have here in New York, and you have a revolving door. So, okay, you can get 10,000 more cops, 20,000 more cops. You put them in, they're going to make more arrests, fair enough, but the same perps are going to come right out. That's why potentially putting out a more of an omnipresence of, like the National Guard, stopping stuff before it happens, because when people see an armed guy there in fatigues, they're going to behave. The problem here, and we just have to put my lawyer hat on, this is going to be a tough lift for Donald Trump to do. This is not D.C. The aperture, you know, if you notice, Pritzker and Johnson both keep saying the same thing, which is there's no emergency. There's no emergency. Because the emergency clauses, that's the aperture that Donald Trump has to put them out, to federalize the National Guard. And so they're already putting out what their legal argument is going to be. But undeniably, if you just look at people voting with their feet, you have Boeing, Caterpillar, Citadel, Tyson Foods, New York Stock Exchange, Peak Six Investments, all of these firms have picked up and left Chicago. And then Brandon Johnson says, financially, Chicago is hitting a point of no return. Well, of course, because the tax base is decamping for redder pastures. Right. And in the public safety and the political arena, the inability not to tie the safety piece to that is the equivalent of not being able to add 2 and 2. And so somebody has to do something here. Realistically, it should be Pritzker. I don't think they're going to do it.
So, Jessica, when a Democrat like Governor Pritzker loses Morning Joe, things might have gone a bit too far.
Well, I was watching Mika's face the whole time, and she clearly was not in agreement with her husband about what the approach should be. And, you know, since Joe and Mika made the pilgrimage to Mar-a-Lago, they've been a little bit different than they were beforehand. But the country is different than it was during Trump 1.0. And obviously, he managed to get a lot of votes and support from people who weren't necessarily very big fans of his the first time around. So I'm not that surprised to hear that from Joe Scarborough. I think Paul is correct about the lift that this would take. We saw Judge Breyer's opinion today about what happened in Los Angeles, that Donald Trump had the right to deploy the Guard, but they couldn't do anything. That essentially they shouldn't be enforcing any laws. They can't engage in security patrols, traffic control, crowd control, or riot control. And fundamentally, that's because they hadn't proven that there was an emergency, which is why, as Paul said, they keep using
California,
that word.
He's on firmer ground because it's related to immigration.
He still got knocked down
so,
today.
And
They
Breyer's
said there
already been
were
overturned once.
Okay. So we'll see. But I'm just
on appeal.
all right, sure. And, you know, on a day when you get Eileen Cannon, you can talk about her.
No,
But
I mean
today
the Supreme Court.
What?
They'll
Yeah,
rule in Trump's favor in the Supreme Court, but I'm
That's
not a
true.
lawyer.
Handpicked. No, you're not. You're just
Proudly.
a historian.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
No. Am I done?
Well, we got
I've
Tyrus.
been close
We got
to it.
Tyrus
Get
here.
Tyrus in. Maybe I'll come back.
Tyrus, Pritzker says he's not going to call Trump.
No, because Black lives don't matter. That's what it basically comes down. That's what we're learning. Black lives don't matter. Listen, and Jesse makes a great point where he's like, what is the end game? Who is benefiting? Why would you not want this help? You've lost your cities. Your police department is depleted. You defunded it. You did a good job of defunding it. You also forced a lot of early retirements, and you encouraged an entire generation, loot first, ask questions later. The South is dangerous. You had, 57 people caught shrapnel this weekend?
Yeah.
7 died. Is your reelection that important? Like, sometimes leadership means you have to make tough decisions for the better overall good. It's not a Democrat thing. It's not a Republican thing. It's like, as a man, as a black man, since they always love to tell you what color they are whenever they make a speech, and it's black men and young boys that are getting shot up and innocent victims and all these things are happening in your community, and you care more about it because it might come from President Trump? Here's the craziest thing. clean up your streets, get the help, and then you can take credit for it or not take credit for it, or maybe you won't be elected anymore, but maybe one day, Mr. Mayor, you'll be walking down somewhere and some kid will come up to you and say, when I was a kid, you changed my life, you saved my life. Because the soldiers coming in and the police coming in made my grandmother not afraid to go outside anymore, sir. Like, some things are more important than politics. I don't care what Democrat or Republican puts that feather in their cap, but a city like Chicago should not be like Afghanistan, not in this country. It's shameful and it's embarrassing.
I remembered what my point was, and it was from your interview last week with Mike Johnson, where you asked him about, well, why aren't we sending the National Guard into Louisiana, where he's from, or Alabama, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Republican-controlled states that have higher murder rates, violent crime, et cetera. And that is the point here. Donald Trump doesn't talk about any of those issues in Republican states because he knows that he controls them.
Because it's a big city.
No.
It's
Also,
a
the
huge
senator
city.
of Louisiana said, bring them in.
Well,
I think
they're
every
not.
city, I don't care if it's blue, red, if you have a weekend with
Mike
that many people
Johnson
dying,
should change his tune
everyone
then.
should come in. I'm not Mike Johnson, I'm Tyrus.
I know
I'm saying
exactly
that I
who you
wouldn't
are,
give a damn about my
but you
political
don't have
career.
as much power as Mike Johnson, and he's not saying to Donald Trump, we need that assistance.
Okay, well, obviously this story is not over, or is this issue, but hopefully the people of Chicago can have some peace in the future.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.